the law of relativity, it is with respect to the position of the object and the position of the observer. It is all about observer, and you should understand when observer is there, it is behaving like a particle. That's why Albert Einstein's law of relativity works, because he didn't say his entire law is based on observer. And once you observe any elementary particle, it starts behaving like particle. It doesn't behave like a wave. Then how come Albert Einstein think in absence of observer and how this particle is behaving? That is not his theory at all. So in absence of the observer, and then the wavering nature of electron is called quantum physics. Though quantum physics has evolved, but can anyone say even today? Say an electron in double slit experiment, and when electrons are being shot through two windows, and you will find multiple lines, that is an indication. So these microparticles or elementary particles are behaving like, these viruses behave like a wave. They go wherever they want to cause a damage. Uncontrolled behavior anyway is a damage. Uncontrolled behavior of virus is a problem now. Uncontrolled, what is a virus? It is made up of uncontrolled, a protein. It uncontrolled electrons. If you observe, it will set right. But who observes? If you only observe 24/7 your breath, and that virus can't enter inside, it loses its power. Simply observe all the time with the breath. So, observer collapses. The wave interference or wave function. I am just explaining. And even today, which electron choose to go into which line? And can quantum physics as on date explain? It can't explain. It can't explain. What Albert Einstein law of relativity can explain with respect to a behavior of a particle and with respect to wavering nature of a particle, even as on date, Heisenberg uncertainty law or principle or probability, you apply any theories. With those theories, we are evolving little bit of quantum computers, but still quantum computers are not really quantum as you say. The word is a quantum, but still the operator is, operating it. So some program is operating. Electron knows there is a program, electron behaves properly. So it is not quantum behavior. We cannot say it's a quantum computer. Quantum computer is without program. If the computer runs, and then it's called quantum computer. Because electrons are too intelligent. Now the research shows it even can study the program. Any program written to observe it, to control it, to observe it, it behaves properly. It behaves like a particle. It doesn't behave like a wave. Why am I telling you this? It is very simple to deny Albert Einstein. There is no one to deny. Albert Einstein law and laws of Newtonian, they are eternal. And the laws of Jesus, the laws of prophet, they only postulated the laws of nature, different vocabulary. And they have experienced it without instruments, and with the power of the microscopic power of the mind, they have experienced the highest level of singularity, removing the duality. And they have become what all they taught us is, and observe, mindfulness, observe yourself, observe inside. Observer outside produces the disease, and producer shatters you. Observation inside changes you. Because you are a bundle of the same particle, same elementary particle, same energy phenomena, and that operates everything in the universe, and the same laws of nature are applied to you. God, Swadharma. The same laws of nature apply to you. And if you go on dissolving this nature, the way it evolved, if you go on dissolving these elements, gross to subtle, and this, because you have a dark energy, you have a dark matter, everything what you are made up of, your system is capable of and going to that stage of, from where a matter, nama and rupa, mind and energy is born, consciousness, energy and matter is born, and you can go back to that level. Why am I telling you? You can't change Newtonian principle called F is equal to ma. A theory of momentum. You can't change law of momentum as given by Newton. And similarly, you can't change Albert Einstein law of relativity. So also, this, like we can't change those words, and similarly, you can't change the words in yoga of a yogi. A word given by Yajnavalkya, a word given by the Buddha, and a word given by Krishna, a word given by Vyasa, and a word given by Shankaracharya, and that word you can't change the word. All that I can do is, and I can explain what is E is equal to mc square for you to understand. But I can't change those words. What all I can do is, I can just chant these words, but I can't change the words. I can only explain it for you. Why? Because the power is in the E, in M, in C. The power is force, mass, acceleration, m1v1. m1v1 plus m2v2, mass and velocity, and gives the momentum. I can't change, no one attempted to change it. Then why are we trying to? Not even understand F is equal to ma or E is equal to mc square. Everyone is practicing yoga, but and when you will understand Einstein, when you experience it, when you experiment it, when you experience it. Why Newton's law of relativity is, why Newton's law of mass is still relative? While Newton's law of momentum is still relative, it is still applicable. Why are we practicing? Because they are again and again experimented, experienced. These words you will only understand when you experiment and when you experience. And then you will understand and the power of the silence, the power of the word, power of the word, power of the word. Why Kumar is chanting this? These are the direct words of Shankaracharya. How lucky for you to listen. How lucky for us it is not deleted. Since 8th century still these are preserved. How lucky we are, still the words of Jesus as it is if they are preserved. And if the words of prophet as it is if they are preserved. In whatever the language he has given. Nothing can equal into it. The Urdu language has no relevance. If it is given in Persian, if it is given in Arabic, that Arabic only has that. Of course, the translation, but it's not as powerful as. So also. You may be studying in Persian E is equal to mc square, but you still say E is energy, M is mass, C is velocity of the light. The meaning doesn't change. You use the same word in your own language. That's all. So also, when the words of the Vyasa, the words of Yajnavalkya, the words of a Nath Gurus, Garanda Sanghita, Garanda or Kapalikas, those words indicate at what level they are. Like so many fundamental principles of science are available today, and each scientist we remember. So also the different levels, different applications. So also in yoga, when you read a Hatha Yoga mantras, you can see the level of that Nath Guru and who is obsessed with the powers. The one who is not enlightened also you can see. For example, when you read a Shiva Samhita, and that you can see that is a typical Tantra practitioner written by the Kapalikas. Bhairavas, Kapalikas are the next generation, the first generation after the Shiva, the one who protected the legacy of yoga are called Bhairavas. And then there is a manifestation, and over a period of time they are called Kapalikas, and it is one of the Kapalika, Chanda Kapali, the one who has given the science of Shiva Samhita. Like Goraknath. So when you say now present chief minister of Uttar Pradesh in India is a monk, and he is the young monk at that age, and he is leading the Uttar Pradesh as a chief minister. I can tell you, for the first time the UP and when you look at the caste politics over there and you law and order over there, the most difficult state of the rapes, ragging, and the maximum number of rapes, ragging, the racism, and the maximum amount of these things, and you will find in that state. But, and now the present chief minister you should observe, and so he is a yogi, Yogi Adityanath. Yogi Adityanath is a chief minister. And do you know from where he comes? He comes from Gorakhpur. Gorakhpur is, for why it is called a Gorakhpur? Because it is a saint, so a legacy of Goraknath. Goraknath, the one who has given one of the Hatha Yoga texts called Goraksha Samhita, Goraksha Shataka. There are hundreds of the books available, the same Shataka in a little bit manipulations, but the Goraknath is so famous. Entire northeastern belt of the kings is a guru for them, the kings. Especially if you go to the Nepal, entire Nepal, when you look at the Bhaktipur, when you look at the architecture of the Pashupatinath, or when you look at entire architecture of the Nepal and its cities, 4 cities, and you will see who has designed these cities. Because Himalayan terrain, as you know, is very subtle and it is prone to earthquakes, and the king the king guru is Goraknath, and blindly, and Goraknath, where he is samadhi or where he is a temple, in India there is no, so for Goraknath, and in Nepal you will find exclusive places constructed for Goraknath by the Nepal kings. And entire Nepal kings, they followed the legacy of the Goraknath, and that's why, and it has become so famous even today materialistically, because Goraknath is a Tantra practitioner. He is not a Vedic practitioner, he is a Tantra practitioner, so he is like any Natha Guru, has a full of powers of the mind. He can disappear, he can appear, and so he can see the future, he can read the minds of the people, and you can see that. He is not Vedic Sampradaya, he is not a Vedic Sampradaya. So the words of Goraknath, when you read, you will understand what Goraknath is all about. And so Shiva Samhita is like Goraknath, comes from the same family, the same traditions of the Nath Guru. After Kapalikas came Nath Gurus. Or you can call from Bhairavas to Kapalikas all Nath Sampradaya only. And Nath, so the one who protected the yoga which you crave, the asanas and the practice of the chakras for the powers and the healing techniques based on the powers, and that legacy goes into Mahakashyapa, and the legacy goes into Nath Gurus, that legacy goes into and Kapalikas. So Shiva Samhita, when you read, and it talks about the power of a mantra. It's all about a power of one mantra, you know that. Only one mantra. Entire Shiva Samhita is all about a powerful mantra, and it is clearly written when you chant that mantra and how powerful you become. If you read Bhagavad Gita, it won't talk like that. If you read Vedanta, it won't talk like that. If you read Patanjali, what transformation comes in you, they will talk about. What expected changes in you, Bhagavad Gita talks about. But when you read Shiva Samhita, it doesn't talk about how powerful you will become, how angels love your form, and how they like you, how they fall in love with you, and how you can rule this world, how you can become a magic tantric. And even today that craziness is there. So should I follow? Yes, I followed Gorakhnath tradition. I followed all the tradition. That's why I can tell you authentically the practices of Hatha Yoga, not simply a Shambhavi mudra here, but there are so hundreds of the mudras. Brahmari mudra is more powerful than the Shambhavi mudra. And Brahmarandra mudra, Brahma mudra, Kapalika mudra is more powerful than the Shambhavi mudra. Angili mudra, Kechari mudra is more powerful than any of these mudras. These are all Tantra mudras. I used to teach in the beginning, but they are not good. They are meant for a mediocre mentality, they are meant for a mean mentality because they boost your testosterone. Today, like if we go crazy about the gym, which is 3000 years back, and it is exercise for the soldiers, for the fighters. Gymnasiums constructed by the Greeks, and that's how the gym has come. It is clear, it is for the soldiers. I have not invented anything. When I say all this modern fitness is like a tantra practitioners, is like to boost the testosterone to become aggressive. Testosterone also is a concentrating hormone. But the same free testosterone can be used for mating, can be used for reproduction and to attract the female. That's the danger, because it is sexually bound globins. So globulin, sexually bound testosterone and free testosterone. The problem is your virility, your capacity to mate, your capacity to concentrate is dependent on the free testosterone. To maintain free testosterone in India, it is emphasized until your marriage and strict celibacy and no Maidhanacharya, no physical and indulgence of intercourse. The reason is the free testosterone should be used for his concentration so that he can come up in the life. And once he settled in the career, then only he should get married, then only he should enter into a relationship. If it is as early as 16 years, 14 years, you have come out of the Gurukul and then your profession is known, and then, so at 16 years itself, he got married. And 16 years itself got married, and girls hardly used to go to some. There are in ancient Gurukul, yes, some girls go, option, and girls whoever went, and at 15 years or 14 years of age, the girls married. Why it's so? Why today there are the divorces? And why today a husband and wife fights, and every child in the house, they will be amazed how come their parents got married, because all the time you will see in every house the pun they make, tantrums they throw, and the children first thing that, hey, shut mom, hey, shut up dad, and we can't stay in this house. First, close your mouths. So every household this story goes on. And the children get surprised. And all the time, why this mom and dad fights like a bull? And where is the love in them? When was the love there? All the time we see the fight in them. And in grandparents, have you seen that? In grandparents, have you seen any kind of a divorce? There is no word of divorce. Then why? Now the more divorces become more advanced. Because at a young age, before even your testosterone and the moment you attain your pubic age, your pubic hair, your pubic age or puberty, when you attain your pubic age, when secondary sexual characteristics start developing, before that itself sexual inclinations are already there. Now as young as a 6-year-old boy, see, who taught the pup and to look for another pup, for female pup, opposite pup? Who taught this bacteria to look for another bacteria, and which taught ant to mate with another ant? So see, the moment the child is born, he is sexually active. Whether he is a female, female is active. But by birth, estrogen is only born. A boy or a girl, both of them having only estrogen. Testosterone developed later. Understand? So estrogen predominant. We are born as a female only. There is no male. Because the genitals we call it as a female. But the hormone, there is only one hormone called estrogen. And then slowly, and this ego hormone starts developing called testosterone. And the moment these genitals are created and this attraction, this self-seeking, attention-seeking starts. As young as 1 month baby, 2 months baby, 3 months baby, 4 months baby, still they can sense who is a male, who is a female. A lot of studies done. Understand? It is not that sexual feeling begins only after attaining the pubic. At that age, organs are developed, and so that your another immortality called germ immortality, germ cells become active. Means your reproductive cells become active and your hormones set in motion so that you become eligible to give a birth. That is the second immortality. It is called first immortality is when you are born. Invariably all of us we have this immortality continuing. That's why there are the 8 billion population in the human. Humans are multiplying and human race is not vanishing. It has become immortal. This is called immortality. Every cell looks for to be immortality. In order to look for immortality, and what it is does, it multiplies. Why coronavirus is multiplying in overnight? Because it wants to leave its progeny and it wants to continue its progeny. It wants to be immortal. The inner desire is immortal. Unless that desire to immortal is, I love my child, means I consider he is my entity, my boy is mine, my DNA, and your DNA is continuing, called Gotra, a lineage. You call, say, a family of Anderson, or family of Khan, or family of Sharma, and family of Gotra in India, you look at. What is that? It is your progeny. It is your immortality, the lineage of immortality. When you say lineage, and it is immortality. And today, as I tell always, so you can see mRNA, if your messenger RNA is examined and called MOP test, if you undergo RNA MOP test, it will give you 500 years of and your parental history and how healthy they are, psychological, physiological and mental, and because you are born as a female, that's why it is examined for 500 years, called 22 years. Today present technology, if you want to get married, if you want to have healthy children, and before marriage or before even you fall into love with a girl, a boy and girl should volunteer to get done their mRNA test. Whether it is compatible, there is emotional compatibility, whether there is a social compatibility, cognitive compatibility, and the mental compatibility, physical compatibility, and everything you will know. You will know by the test. That's why in olden days they used to say, look at his 7 generations. That is the olden legacy. And now the science tell the same. If you want to know any defect is there in that family, if you want to know and how healthy they are, and now the genome test will tell you, and mRNA test will tell you. And 500 years, 22 generations, 500 years means in terms of science it is equivalent to 22 generations, period. Now in your house, and so I have my mother, and perhaps my mother, and then I have my child. and my child is going to have a child. Say for example, my child is going to have a child, and in many cases the child is also going to have a child, means in my 100 years I have 5 generations. Understand? I have 5 generations. That's how, and 100 years, 5 generations means you exactly calculate 500 years, 22 years. This is how the generations are calculated. It is all about, you say, generation gap. Now you can clearly see, and my mother to me, my mother to her mother, and her mother to her mother, and me to my child, my child to another, my grandchild. You can see the generation gap. Enormous generation gap. And if tomorrow, and any of my grandchildren have to know, or my children have to know, if I have to know, because at the time when I got married, the tests were not available. But today, people talk about the science, people go gaga on the Google, and people go on this, fall in love with on the Facebook. You have no absolutely and scientific temperament. You are thinking you are a prodigy, but you are dull-minded. If you have any wisdom, and you must choose, a right partner, a right selection. How you will choose a right selection? Go and get done, and so ask mRNA profile and your profile you give, and they will tell you whether you will match or not. Your mother's side, it will give entire, whether you are a boy or a girl, get done the test. Then you will know, and the history of the boy will be known, the history of the girl will be known, and if both are defective free, or if there is any defect, you can very well prepare. You can tell the girl, you say, I have this problem, so and so generation, so and so problem, it was there. So I am telling you, so I may have this problem. So and so age, I may have a dementia, or I may have a atrophication, muscular atrophy. I may have this problem, and tomorrow I may have a cancer, and tomorrow I may have this problem. Knowing that, then you will know what nutrition you have to take. It is the gene expression. What you are examining is past gene expression. And if you are a scientist, if you are a yogi, you can change the DNA expression. Why yoga? Yoga is to change your gene expression. You have to bring, why it is continuing like this, why that problem? Because the same culture, the same food habits, whether good or bad, continuing. That's how the same food habits of the mother comes to the daughter, and the same diabetes, and parents having the diabetes, children have the diabetes. Parents have the cardiovascular disease, and children have the diabetes. Because the generation, what is passing on? And I feed the same food, my mother fed the same food, and my mother fed the same food, and I also feed the same food, or dirty food. With the result, what is happening? The same disease is continuing, disease is increasing. Why it is increasing? Because the food which my mother has not given, in fact I should give healthy food, but I feed the junk food. I sit with the children, small children in an airport, and young guys, young parents, 20-25-year-old, and their child is eating the French fries, and you are eating the French fries, and you are making the child to drink carbonated drink. You are also drinking the carbonated drink. Where is the matured parenting? Tell me. You are decorating the child like a doll, and she is like a Barbie doll for you. She is not your child. If you respect your child's freedom, you won't decorate her as a Barbie doll because she didn't ask you to decorate like that. It is our craziness. Why? Because you are trying to manipulate her gene expression, not for good. You are trying to bring a bad culture. You are creating a bad program, bad culture in them. You are responsible. And then tomorrow you will blame, oh my God, my child is not listening to me. Oh my God, my child went like this. Oh my God, my child behaving like this. But have you parented the child like that? Oh my God, my child is having diabetes. Oh my God, my parents had this problem. I am also going to have this problem. Have you okay, you know very well, your grandparents have a problem, your parents have a problem. So have you changed your diet? Have you examined it where the root cause exists? And have you changed your diet? Have you changed your nutrition? Have you changed your exercise? Have you meditated to change your gene expression? Today, it is well known fact, the gene expression is constantly changed. Gene cannot be changed, but gene expression can be changed. And a DNA program is there. It is a vehicle. But now with the test you will know and which DNA is not functioning properly. And still you can run this DNA function. The file which is not functioning, you can't make it function. But the function of the file, you can do it alternate, and that's called methylation. This is how now the autism or Down syndrome, and many of the problems are addressed by genomics, by called genonutrition, and now that is going to be means yes there is a problem. So by getting this test done, that's why in India always they said, hey, look for 7th generation, because in those days there is no mRNA test, but still the concept is existing. Hey, examine 10 generation this side, 10 generation that side, 15 generation this side, 15 generation. That's why in India they maintained always a called family tree. Every household is supposed to maintain. Even today, the family tree culture is continuing in India in old families. And since their Gotra lineage, the first one, who is the saint? Who started it? Who is the yogi started it? Because to liberate many souls, to give that freedom to and experience the permanent immortality to, his family, he started a yogi married in order to for many souls to get liberated. Why a saint, Vasishtha, or why these great saints, they have the wives? Because they wanted to give the liberation to many souls. The one who is first started your Gotra lineage is a saint, and it means he has given all of us. Why my Gotra and why that saint has given maybe thousands, and now we must be more than 1 million people representing, or more than maybe 100,000 people in that lineage. Definitely 1 million people in that lineage, isn't it? Adam and you say Adam and Eve, isn't it? So there could be one male, one female, and then came a legacy of singularity, and then your lineage started. In India, it is clearly defined. Arya Bharadwaja Gotra, Arya Vasishtha Gotra, Arya Markandeya Gotra, Arya Pulastya Gotra, Arya Karkata Gotra. So there are so many Gotra. Achyuta Gotra. What is a Gotra? It is to tell, hey, you have given me the birth, I represent you, means I will be one of the family tree, means I am going to get immortal. My work is, I am born as a human, but now I am going to work for immortality. Like, O saint, who have given me, I will be working. I am so grateful to Pitru Devatas, I am so grateful to you because of you, and as a soul I don't know, I have been animal and I have been all these births over. Now I got the human birth because of you, and only to experience, I understand fully that since you experienced the immortality, you want me to experience immortality. The legacy, the lineage, and knowing your mRNA is to experience a singularity, because you know very well what defects you are going to carry, but by knowing your vehicle, your vehicle you know very well. The accelerator is not working, brake pedal is not working, and then something is not working, and brake pedal has become loose, and now is a lockdown period, and everything is shut down, but you will drive carefully. It's not that you won't drive, you have to drive. But when you know the problem of the vehicle, and your driving changes, because to compensate that problem. In yoga also, when you have a problem and compensation by means of a prop or by means of changing the modification in the posture, making it easy for you. All those happens when you know your DNA, when you know your mRNA. That's why I said in India, there is no concept of a non-scientific living at all. Whatever our ancestors have given is called a family tree, and 500 years of generation of the family tree, and the science is telling you, hey, come on, get done the test, then only fall in love, whether that girl is suitable for you or not. You know her psychological, mental, physiological, physical traits by mRNA mapping. That is the most scientific way of selecting a partner, so that you will be healthy and you are not harming that girl, and girl is not harmed by the boy, and the world becomes a good place to live. It's not that simply and blindly you look at and you choose. It's what you are looking at on a Facebook or anything, package. You look at a package, you fall in love. You have to look at the product, my dear. And the entire world looks at the advertisement on the TV. Like, so Marlboro advertisement has increased. Cowboy advertisement by the Marlboro has entirely changed the cigarette industry. Everyone knows. And today our selection is by, and the 30 seconds or 3 seconds of advertisement, 30 seconds of advertisement, and looking at that advertisement, stimulating and taking you to, and like a mantra, like a magician, he takes you into different level of conditioning. What he is doing is conditioning your mind, and simply like a lame duck, and we go and we buy that product. And no scientific understanding, no scientific standards, it makes you to overlook the standards. It blunts your search for the truth. All these advertisements, what they do? They block your search for your truth. Search for standards, because if you know standards, and how come he can fool you by the advertisement? Isn't it? That's called a delusion. He creates a delusion. And by delusion, that looking at that advertisement, you buy Apple phone. Looking at a review is nothing but a perception of a person. Why you need to hear someone's review? You can't read the specification. Why can't you understand the specification of a Apple phone or a Samsung phone or a washing machine? And you go on here, I love this person, his review is very good, listen. And you know very well that person is paid. And he is selling his perception, the company perception to you, and you are already a dummy, because you are already conditioned by him, like snake charmer he is, and you listen to him. Oh, this review, do you know his review is so good about the product? Have you listened? It indicates how fool you are, the present generation, how foolish it is. Even on the net, when they choose, the first thing they do is reviews they read for any product. And the company itself made hundreds of the people to write the reviews. Simple. And you're reading it got so many reviews about the Dr. Kumar Yoga program. Now how many reviews are there? You won't find any review. I don't want any reviews to be written on me. And I could have I can keep 1,000, I can employ the people to write so many reviews. Every day I can send one person to one computer, and I can generate so many positive reviews, thousands reviews. Then look, oh my God, he has so many reviews. That's how the Facebook is fooling you. That's how the Instagram is fooling you. That's how the YouTube is fooling you. That's how any person wants to be a star is fooling you. Do you know how much money it goes behind those advertisements? And who is fool? Because we are fool, they are fooling. If you are not a fool, who can fool you? And we don't even realize that we are fool. And you are educated, but still you hear someone's, why you can't have eyes? You can't read the specification? You can't read the manual? We don't want to know the standards, There is no time to know the standards. No time to know the standards, a gadget which you are going to buy. When you are going to fall in love, you don't want to know the standards of the girl. Just fall in love. Someone's review and someone's projection on a Facebook you read and you fall in love. That's why the divorces happen. Because what you have seen is a package, not the product. And tomorrow when the product arrives, and oh my God, the attraction for the package has to be opened, and the product will come out. sooner or later. And the moment the package is over, and then you will look at the, oh my God, product inside is not good. Oh, boy is not good, girl is not good. I thought she is like an angel, but actually she is a devil. How come angel will become devil? Have you ever seen? Angel is an angel, devil is a devil. Your criteria of selection, you are deluded, thinking that catching hold of a devil as an angel and catching hold of an angel as a devil. That's what Patanjali is telling. What Patanjali is telling? Know the standard first, know the product first, not the package. But if you really examine, entire world is going behind the package. All of us, we are sold by the package, by the delusion, by the illusion they create in the form of advertisement. Simply we are fooled. That's why we are sheep. That's why we are called, so we call cows. We need a cowherd keeper, a shepherd keeper. No, you don't want to be, because you don't even accept the fact you are a sheep anymore. You think, oh, I am a software engineer. You see how much money I earned. How come my selection will be wrong? The more you earn, the more fool already you have become, because already you follow one person. All the elite class or whoever it is, they think they are the most intelligent. They don't understand they are the most stupid in selection of their gurus or anything. This is where problem comes. Understand standard. Anyway, why I told you this? Why this pubic age? Why in India early ages marriages? And someone came, British came or Europeans came and came, hey, have you gone mad in India? Why you get married at the age of 8 years to 16 years? Have you gone mad? And we really never gave importance to our culture. We thought all our saints are dummies because we are struggling for food. We thought they are all the dummies. We thought our culture is so inferior. We made us to feel inferior. And we are made us to feel, and someone made us to feel, hey, marrying, you should get married only when at 18 years or 25 years. When already your ego is boosted, when your adaptability is gone. Your adult intelligence is gone by the 18 years. You're finished. By the 8 years, why children used to get married at the 8 years? Because still 80% cognitive development, adaptability is still existing in the child. If you get married and in India between 8 years to 12 years and by the time 14 years to 16 years the marriage is over. Why he got married? Because still sexual feelings not even started. Sexual attraction is there but not arousal, not estrogen, testosterone, still not predominant. And then what happens? This friendship and this respect and adaptability, what comes is adaptability, and one adjusts to the other very quick. As a plant you can bend it, as a tree you can never bend it. The psychology, the emotional compatibility and the mind compatibility, the physical compatibility, it is not the physical compatibility. What the people are interested in is behavioral compatibility. If this girl has to adjust to the boy, if any boy is not behaving properly in India, what they used to tell any boy is doing all the naughty things, any girl doing the naughty things in the young age, what they used to say? Get her married, it will be set right. Get her married, it will be set right. The same thing is practiced for the cows, for bulls also, for buffaloes, male buffaloes also. As a farmer, as a farmer child and as a kid, I used to go behind, so I used to take all my cows, all my buffaloes for grazing. And, so I know these grazing of these cows, grazing of these sheep, grazing of, and I really used to take care of them. I really used to like them. I every day bathing them like anything. And there used to be, these young cows and so these some naughty adolescent bulls and these adolescent male buffaloes or she buffaloes And I should tell you, the problem is this buffalo, and I tie it. So in the shed, so cow shed or the sheep shed, and we have a shed, we used to tie it. But the thing is, it breaks. This much thick rope, it breaks. Even steel chain, it delinks. The force it applies. Because its libidinal energies, pubic energies are very high. And testosterone is very high, and it pulls like this. And then in the night, what it does? It gets into other paddy fields. It gets into other crops. It goes and does rampant, and it damages the crop. And next day, and then I have a music hearing from my neighbors. Hey, and it is your bull, and it damaged entire my crop. Compensation. First, mend your bull. So how in India the young bulls are, young buffaloes or young cows, and which are not are tamed? Then you tie. You tie, what you tie? You tie a rope across the neck and to the nose and to the neck, and then you hang a T form, a T shaped, this is a stick, and this is a vertical stick, it is hanging, and it is a rope around the neck of the buffalo. And then when it walks, when it tries to walk, even because it doesn't listen to you, and when it tries to walk, it hits. The more faster it hits, the more faster the stick beats the neck. Inflammatory program. Inflammation leads to the learning. And what we are teaching, and this brain is programmed for emotional development, cognitive, because its emotional areas are weak, because cortex brain is weak, and you are strengthening its cortex brain areas, and by the pain every day infests, then after, oh my God, then within no time it will learn. Oh my God, if I run, it will hit. Then after 1 year or 2 years, we will remove this. And after you removing this or that also, it doesn't jump anymore. So whether it is animal conditioning, whether it is human conditioning, and so there are the many boys, many girls like a bull, and with the testosterone driven, and they look at every girl, all the rape and all the nonsense. What is? As I told in India, now during this period of the COVID, the people watching the pornography, if the children are married at the age of 8 to 12 years, what is the need for them to watch? They will not be interested in watching any pornography at all, I can tell you. Your great-great-grandfathers, and if you spoke about pornography, they would have laughed at you, because they have already seen, and since their sexual attraction began, since their capacity to participate before even their puberty age, their organs, secondary organs developed itself, the love begins. The love has not begun in testosterone or estrogen dominance, understand. The love begins, understanding begins in lack of testosterone, in lack of estrogen. That love, so that never complaint. Whatever the grandmother is, the grandfather adjusted. Whatever the way grandfather is there, and grandmother adjusted. Whatever the way grandmother is there, grandfather adjusted. That's how, except in kings, again they are like, but otherwise there is no concept of divorce. There is a concept of getting married to many, but there is no concept of divorce. Understand? And now, and we were made in India, hey, childhood marriage is a sin. Ours is mind, behavioral, so studied very well, and they told us, not to have divorces, to have a healthy family, and how matured you will become by the age of 25 years. and their life is only the parents and children, and they focus all their energies on the children. No more self-love once the children are born, because at early age they got married and they already finished their sexual energy, because as soon as the free testosterone is born, that is well utilized, well channelized, and so there is no desire to look at other women, there is no desire for them to look at other male. That's how they focused, and once the children are born to them, and their entire focus is only on the children to do the parenting. And such a great tradition, understanding, and getting married. It's not that I am not talking something illegal, I am talking about the tradition. And what is it? Not everyone failed in India to understand what is the greatness behind what is the secret behind early marriages. And today, the same in India, marriages are failure. And the moment you get married, you will realize the boy loves himself or girl loves herself. That is the problem. And in earlier, at that age of 8 years, you love others. You love others. And you have started loving others. You started absorbing adaptogenicity, your ability to accept the other person's limitations. A marriage survival is all about your ability to accept the other's weaknesses, others' negative traits. Understand? And that's how the legacy is continued. Our grandfathers continued the journey. You examine any country, anywhere, you look at. But today, why? We are shattered, our peace is shattered. There is insecurity feeling about our own partner. Why? Because we failed to examine at our RNA, DNA level. We failed to bring our selection of a partner is wrong, not scientific. What our ancestors have given us, we have violated it. And nor what modern science is giving, we don't even understand, we don't even know. Again we are going by perception like an advertisement. Whoever poses very well in front of camera, whoever's best selfie is there, you should know. And that selfie, you fall in love with that selfie. And that selfie is a selfie, that is a self-love, that's all. And when you marry a person who loves himself or who loves herself, how can you be happy? She won't love you, simple as that. The today whole world problem is, and the self-love is the highest, loving others is the zero. When you only lose your self-love, and then only you can love others. Self-compassion is different. Self-love is egoistic self-love. It's not that you have to hate yourself. I am not telling you that. But self-love is based on ego. I love my taste. I don't love your taste. That is called self-love. Ego. And I am just trying to explain why in those days they got married like that. And all those saints you will find at the age of 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. Already life is over. By the age of 15 years, all our grandmothers, I can tell, they got married at the age of 15 years. Or even 12 years. All my grandmothers. In India, you ask anyone, their great-great-grandmother of my age is 55. You ask any 55-year-old Indian, is my guarantee, and their grandmother, you ask when their grandmothers and got married. Their great-grandmothers, unless they are influenced by the Westerners, I can tell you, definitely, they got married at the age of 8 to 12 years. And when you ask this guy like me, and they will tell, hey, I should tell you so much to learn from my great-great-grandfather, I know, and great-great-grandmother. Means you feel shabby about your relationship, isn't it? Because we have deviated from what is a science, what a yoga given, embedded into our selection of a partner to, and giving a birth to the children. Everywhere yoga played, everything in India is a science. And a lack of understanding, lack of treating, and our culture as a nonsense, and made us to pay heavily today. Understand? It is a culture by which the entire world influenced, how much, instead of investigating the science behind it, and we have gone mad, and we have gone deluded. With the result, we all suffer. And so, trying to tell you the germ cell mortality. Next is come, so the germ cell mortality is for immortality, to experience the immortality. How many of us we try to realize the family tree is given? Who doesn't have family tree? Now, no one interested even family tree. I don't want to know my great, hey, it's all right, what they have done, what they have given me money, hey, it's all right. I am smart. As if you are born out of air, without your great-great-grandparents. No respect. Now the present children, they have no respect even for the parents. Use and throw. And parents are also like that. So joint family, observer, levels of observation, respect for each other, and why this saint has given us the progeny, and why we are born, what is the purpose of it? The purpose of it is to experience the immortality. And your search is for, are you, definitely your morbidity you are experiencing. Comorbidity you are experiencing. Comorbidity you are experiencing. Morbidity is experiencing mortality. We are living dead almost. Our life is. We are born, we are giving the birth to the children, but we do not know how to drive them toward the immortality. Again, like us, we want them to give the birth to the children, but without giving the concept of actual immortality. Our design is to give the birth to the children, to liberate those 2 souls, or 3 souls, or 10 souls, and by all means to make them realize Allah, Holy Spirit, or a Parabrahma. That's why a Gruhastu is great, a family holder is great. Because his responsibility is not only giving birth, not only taking care of them, but also taking care of them, their experience, their singularity. That is the greatest responsibility. You are giving a birth to the children for salvation of their soul. That is the greatest responsibility. That's why Grihastha Ashrama is considered as the highest ashrama. A Grihastha Sannyasa Ashrama. The marriage in India is meant only for that purpose. Vanaprastha Ashrama, Sannyasa Ashrama at the age of 60 years. That's all. Your entire goal is only singularity, nothing else. At the age of 70 years, you already renounced. No one will come to your house. You are a sannyas, like a lama in Tibet, all alone. He doesn't want, hey, don't come, I am fine. Don't encourage anymore. The 80-year-old doesn't feel anymore. He will tell all his grandchildren, please don't come, let me leave, let me develop. I am very happy being alone, developing detachment. I am doing tapasya. Let me realize the singularity. Hey children, don't come. Even you come, be there and just look at me and go. Complete detachment after 70 years means practice of absolute detachment. What is detachment? Drishtanashravika vaitrashnasya sanya vairagya Sanyavashikaram Vairagyam. Means 60 years over, 70 years over, no more interested in food, and you are not living for any more for food. You are living, you are eating to just for immortality. Every means of input should become a force for immortality. That's called clearly the 4 stages of the life or 5 stages of the life in India clearly established. What is a balya, childhood? What is the adolescent age called kaumara? And what is called a young adolescent or young person called yavana? And then what is called grihasthu? Understand? Then called Vanaprastha and then called Sannyasa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stages of the life. Understand? The 6 stages of the life, I don't think anywhere in the world it is clearly defined. And the 6 stages of the life, if you respect, the purpose of your birth is served. Balya, childhood. You have to treat him like an enemy, causing a pain, inflammatory response, so that his brain is programmed, not abusing. And it is shaping. You have to keep the hand inside. You have to beat, otherwise not pampering. You have to beat all the time, beating, but love behind, but not exhibiting it. Firmness. A parent have to be very firm with the children, not hate the children. That love should not be exhibited to the children, unlike the contrary to the present generation. That's why we are not developing their frontal cortex areas of the child. Then comes Kaumara, is a puberty. And then comes Yavana. Yuva. In a way it's called Yuva. There are many people named in India Yuva. Yuva is a Sanskrit word. Means young, adolescent to young. This is puberty, teenage. This is adolescent and young adult. Grihastu, adult, and Grihastu, married life. Grihastu means his sexual energy, progeny, giving birth to the children at this, not at that age. And Grihastu, responsibilities, and looking after only the children as everything. Only they are both husband and wife, no more interested in any sexual relation, no more interested in world entertainment. All their life is only the children, progeny. Grooming the progeny is the Grihastu. And then family. The entire focus is a family, that's all. No more self-interest. All your self-interest is gone here. All your sexual desires are gone over. All your entertainment of visiting all entire world is over already. And Grihastu. And all that you have to concentrate. You are getting married at Yavana itself. And then you have a children and entire focus is only on the family. Next is, family responsibility is over. Now the children are already grown up. That's why when you get married at young, you have great-grandchildren and ready to work for you. That is a great legacy. You have an excellent supportive system. And then called Vanaprastha, weaning period. Weaning period completely. Like a mother weans the child after 1 year of the breastfeeding. 2nd year onwards, mother has to wean a child. Only 1 year and a child is sleeping with the mother and parents. From the 2nd year onwards, child has to be slept in a separate room. So also now the family, and he has to wean from the family. That's all. And he already made everyone responsible, and he made them independent. And neither he is dependent nor they are dependent on him. That's all. 60 years, Vanaprastha, 60 years. You have already seen a life of 60 years in India. 60 years means all periods of turbulence, all periods of good, all calamities, all droughts, all corona kind of the diseases, and the cycle of dharma is called, and 60 years. If you have become 60 years means you have seen epidemics, you have seen the pandemics, and you have seen materialism, you have seen amount of spiritualism, you have seen all things, you have seen the period of divorces, you have seen the period of good, and all the things will happen in the period of 60 years. And by the time 60 years means you are already matured, you have seen everything, you have experienced everything. And now that's the time weaning. and telling, so no more dependent for happiness. Oh, my child should come and see me. Oh my God, my son should support me. Oh my God, my son is not coming. Oh my God, my daughter-in-law is not coming. Oh my God, my children are not taking care of me. No. Neither parent is completely independent nor children are completely independent, and parent will tell so. And it is a healthy relationship, understand. And then come. That's why 60 years is celebrated a big festival in India. 7 days they have to perform a big ceremonies, pujas, because it is like a lama leaving from the, going forever into a samadhi. That's what is celebrated. But in India now it is celebrated. And next day this fellow will be sitting in front of the TV and all the time watching the TV. Everything is made a pun or fun. Mockery of the traditions, I tell you. For the namesake Shashti Purti, now children come and oh my God, my children are performing Shashti Purti, do you know? And it's a big celebration like a marriage celebration now in India, spending hundreds and thousands and millions of rupees. And children want to entertain the parents want to be egoistic, so egoistic, they want, still they have attraction. The period where they have to develop detachment. Parents have so much of attachment to the children at that age. Not so. It is totally a weaning period. Just like mother has to train the child to sleep in other room, other's house. Because the children have others' house. Or in your own house, you have your own room. That's all. You won't entertain anyone. Weaning, only food comes, you will have food. That's all. Your wife and you separate, or family supplies, you are no more interested in the family affairs, no more interested. Next comes sannyasa. 60 years means already 3 generations are there in your family. That's why, and one generation will look after the other generation, you don't have to worry. Then sannyasa ashrama, 70 years. Next 10 years. Total renunciation, you will tell your parents, your children, I am sannyasi, I am a guru now. You renounced everything. No more sensual entertainment. Your dress even changes. That's all. No more attractions and indriya nigraha, chitta nigraha, everything restraining the sense doors and restraining the mind, restraining from reading, and only practice, only swajha, only practice till singularity is experienced with bare minimum food. And no craving for the food, no more craving for anything. Whatever comes into the plate, taking it and restricting that quantity of the food. Whatever coming in the plate in the house is least bothered. The plate is kept outside his room, and the food, whatever comes into the room, into the plate, he has to take, and he and his wife have to eat together. That's all. And then all their practice is not entertaining, not any more responsibilities, only responsibility the children is preparing for the death, sannyasa ashrama, preparing for immortality. That's all. And this is the way these are called stages of the life, 6 stages of the life. When 6 comes in India, one is Shadguna, 6 qualities, and not only that, the 6 stages of the life are very, very important. Sannyasa ashrama is very, very important. This is a way one has to transcend the life. Where yoga begins here. Your physical yoga to all limbs of yoga begins here. Like for me, it began at the age of 6 years, and yoga begins here. And and you handling all this responsibility, and if you are serious enough, if you are smart enough, here itself you will experience singularity, but otherwise definitely singularity will experience at this stage. So, already you have 60 years of spiritual experience from your childhood and from your grown and clearly defined stages. Since we have overlooked now even a sannyasi, 70-year-old, and so wearing the half knicker, and and walking in the park and eating non-vegetarian, etc., and interested always walking, jogging, and he feels, and he is very smart. He is not he is not understanding how deluded he is, how immature he is, like a young adult. Understand? And this is called graciously growing. Not graying. By default, we all gray. By default, all our hair gray. It is not growing gray is by default happens. Growing gray by default. But the thing is, gracious growing is very important. Growing is for growing. Then that is the legacy in India. There is stages in India. You look at anywhere in the world, the same methodology of Takshashila, the pre-Indus civilization, since the yoga began, and this is how, why saints got married at a young age, where you take Yajnavalkya, where you take Vasishtha, where you take all those great saints, and they are all family people. Why family? I told you, and because of that Vasishtha, and people, and they have even in India now, so there is a sect called, Vasishtha Gotra, and they read Vasishtha Gotra, but they are far away from even uttering that word, because what is Brahmano Brahmana Priya Brahma Vidvara Brahmanya Brahmana. And you should feel ashamed to say your lineage is Vasishtha, because who is Vasishtha? And the one who is a prodigy of singularity, experienced it at a very young age. Are you, when you chant that Gotra, Bharadwaja, who is Bharadwaja? And people read these names, so Gotra, they love their Gotra, but it is a mockery of the Gotra. So understand what a legacy of gene mapping, and you can change. This is a way to change your gene mapping. And once you know where the problem exists, and today, and the present science, and in olden days itself, they know how to change your gene expression. As I told you, gene can never be changed, but gene expression can be changed. Yoga is the way to change the gene expression. The gene expression, complete a gene expression. Yoga is only the way to change the gene expression. If we change gene expression, so what changed? He has changed his completely gene expression. There is no more continuity of the death. Consciousness will not anymore. He has attained complete transformation and at the bringing change at the gene transformation. Understand? Anyone, by default we are born means we have certain gene. So how now coronavirus doesn't have DNA, and is born with RNA, with 30,000 nucleotides files, RNA files. It doesn't even have DNA, but still is it functioning or not? It is functioning. In fact, it is very potent. So without DNA also RNA can function independently. The technologies of enabling your RNA, technologies of enabling your DNA, and maladies of DNA, knowing them, and the remedial measures taking up with respect to diet, nutrition, exercise, the yoga, the vyavahara, the way you think, that is the way to change the way you drive your vehicle to the singularity. This is the way to understand why these words, why these standards, what these saints have given is word, why we cannot go away from the word. And so I have been explaining, So why the human behavior is well understood, and why this knotting around us to grow. And getting into relationship is to drive our energies, to get channelized, to get matured. Even after marriage, you are behaving like a bull, looking at other girls. Having a partner means you are not matured. That is happening because you got married late. If you got married at the age of 8 years, it would not have happened. At the age of 15 years, 14, it wouldn't have happened. Your commitment will be 100% to your partner, I tell you, if you get married at the age of 14 years or 8 years. Because 8 years to 18 years and called adult intelligence is formed. But after adult intelligence formed, you are marrying. So after already you brought the vehicle, and what can you do? You have to drive only that vehicle, whatever the way it is. Before that vehicle is made, if you give a specification, if you choose specification, as per that if you buy a vehicle, definitely that vehicle will be very good. So the message is that, so this legacy and the science, why those saints and have given us the legacy of yoga, discriminatory knowledge and wisdom, the life of wisdom. What is the life of wisdom? And what is the life? What is the science? How? Growing matured. So gurus, why they need to be respected? Because every family having a guru itself. Hamsacharamkandanadamaneka rupakam Shabdhajalayam charachara jantu deha nivasinam Chakrarajamanāhatodbhava ekavarnamatah param. Hamsacharamkandanada anekavarnamarupakam Shabdajalamayam charachara jantu deha nivasinam Chakrarajamanāhatodbhava ekavarnamatah param. Pratareva himanasantara bhavaye guru padukam Hamsacharamkandanadamanekavarnamarupakam Shabdajalamayam charachara jantu deha nivasinam Chakrarajamanāhatodbhava ekavarnamatah param. Hamsacharamkandanadamanekavarnamarupakam Shabdajalamayam charachara jantu deha nivasinam Chakrarajamanāhatodbhava ekavarnamatah param. This is a shloka. Hamsacharamkandanada. So I am not going to explaining this because I wanted to explain this. I went into this. The words of a saint, what this word means. The word is, the one who experienced knows that word exactly. The experimenter, what is experimenting? At what age it begins? Experiencing. What the 70-year-old watching a TV, 60-year-old entertaining with asking for a food, or French fries, or eating a burger or a pizza, along with his grandchildren, children, and doing this, and he still loves his wine woman, and still he loves his all weaknesses. Do you think it is a maturity? It's not a maturity. Totally immature. They are thinking they are totally immature. Hair is gone grey, but mind is not grown. And they want to color even the hair also. Now the latest trend is, and see, they don't want to be looked at 60, 70. They eat, they look like this, and they want to look young. I don't know whom to attract at the age of 60 years, 70 years. And still you are spending the time in front of the mirror. Oh my God, this hair, is there any way, doctor, I can have new hair? Is there any way, doctor, whether my skin can shine, can shine? Is there any way my skin won't wrinkle? Is there any way I can mend my mind? No. All we worried still about the body, useless body, and as if it is made with some, if I cut open your body and what comes out is the same, what comes in me, the same thing comes out. The excreta, urine, and all that pus and everything, and still we love the lousy bodies. That's our wisdom. At least by the time you grow, we grow at this age, there has to be some maturity. And that's why these immature grandfathers and ruining the children, this immature parenting is completely damaging the legacy, and your progeny is going to be affected because of your craziness here. Understand? And how it is shameful it is. And what is yoga? Yoga is to be like this. Now at the age of 60 years, a yogini getting into, oh, my body, I am doing yoga. Oh, your body is doing. Oh, we are very good partners. For salvation or for doing physical yoga. And physical yoga performing together, have you ever seen partnership yogas, acro yogas, partnership yoga, sexual indulgence in yoga postures? Have you gone mad? A person is not even supposed to touch the other person. The legacy of the lineage of the teachers is, in fact, Iyengar, Krishnamacharya never touched. Yes, when he is young, he must have touched. But they're down the line, and I want to be touched, I want to be corrected. You want to carry those memories of correction. What you will correct? Every time posture you remember, again I am conditioning your mind. Forever you have to be corrected. No. You have to. I am training to be observer. It is not this. You have to watch. In northern traditions in India, a guru sits there and does. A student is going on explaining that what he has to observe, what he has to observe. It is all about observer, training of observation, observer. He is training to be observer. And he is explaining and what to observe, way to observe. The moment he becomes and helps you, like the moment you take the child into your arms or keep in a wheelchair, that's all. Your child growth stopped. Understand? A child has to learn to creep, learn to crawl, learn to go on 4 legs, learn to walk on first 4 legs, first learn to walk on stomach, and then learn on 4 legs, then learn on 2 legs. And we only little bit support. A child is not supposed to be grown in a cradle. A child is not supposed to be grown in a wheelchair. And a child is not supposed to be grown in the backseat of the car, dumped as a prisoner. The child is not designed to be carried in the front like a monkey. Even a monkey doesn't carry for some time, it carries, and only when it transports. Otherwise, you look at that monkey, young monkey, small kid, how it jumps. Is your child jumping like that? Oh my God, oh child, don't jump. Oh my God, oh my God. You look at the mother monkey and you will see how it trains it is a young monkey. A monkey has so much maturity in grooming its child, and we have become human, and we are worse than a monkey in grooming our children. Pampering and our self-love is damaging our children. Understand? हंसचारमकण्डनादमनेक वर्णमरूपकं शब्दजालमयं चराचरजन्तु देहनिवासिनं चक्रराजमनाहतोद्भव अनाहतोद्भव एकवर्ण मतः परम्. What a tradition. Hansachara. That word, if I have to explain, 2 hours will be over. That first word, Hansachara. Hansa means swan. So that's why I have already taken time. Today we need to practice. So that's why I stop here the theory. Today I have already explained very important aspects of selection criteria. And what is a delusion criteria? What is a selection criteria? What is? Why children at young age got married? Why? And a bull, how they are tamed, how the young buffaloes, naughty young buffaloes tamed. What is the legacy in India? How in India, and defined different stages of the life for maintaining the free testosterone. How the free testosterone is used throughout the lifespan and they never age. Free testosterone is an anti-aging molecule, sexually bound testosterone. The more you indulge in the sexual activity means you're sexually bound and testosterone is increasing. And your desire is increasing. And the free testosterone, the one who uses for grooming the progeny, for taking responsibility, for focus, for the detachment, you will experience absolute peace. Otherwise, if you are just boosting the testosterone and then you are simply like that bull, not a bull, even at the age of 60 years, 70 years, and you are looking at a woman and per se, so enjoying and the body, that's all. How immature it is. It is all about the way the testosterone evolves and the way it is channelized from each period of the life is what is that's called growing, and not growing grey happens by default, but what is important is a gracious growing, or graying is for growing. Graying is for growing. So it is not growing, graying. It is other way around, and graying is for growing. Understand? If you understand these words, when I was a child, I used to wear half knickers, and even in intermediate, college told, you have to wear now the pant. Otherwise, we used to wear only, shorts, because we could not afford or whatever it is. As a child, even the girls wear only up to here skirts. And now, at the age of 70 years, now I am seeing again people are wearing the knickers to indicate how immature they are. They are thinking, because they went to America and they went abroad to their children, they saw everyone wears half knickers. You want to attract with your muscles? Whom you are trying to attract? To whom you are trying to show your body? A sannyasi doesn't wear any dress. But now you see in India or anywhere in the world, it has become a fashion. I am not talking about the Western society because it is your culture or whatever, it is not for that. But in India I am talking about. Now the 50 years, 60 years wearing like their kids and half knickers walking in the park, same westernized style, and they pose as if they are the, so developed. That's what I am saying. And growing grey is not great. Grey is growing. That's why they want to color. They are showing that how immature they are. They want to color the hair. They are so self-conscious about the body. Where they have to go, the conscious of others, no more self-conscious. And connecting consciousness with the age where they are supposed to have. But still every day at the age of 60 years, oh my God, my child, every day, on Skype in America, oh my God, my granddaughter, licking, sitting here. There is no concept of graying at all. That's why we are damaging, that's why our all aspects of growth inhibited. That's why coronavirus or any virus and comes. We are cowardice. We are so afraid. We are so afraid now. A 60-year-old, 70-year-old also now more afraid than anyone else. So why it happened? Because your yoga strengthening mechanisms, growth mechanisms, and which are supposed to begin at a young age, are not happened. Even at this age, no one thinks about yoga, no one thinks about anything. And for them, yoga or spirituality means watching, listening to a discourse, reading a book, writing a name of a saint. So most of the people write, Rama, word 1,000 times, million times, billion times. So what? Are you in LKG to write? You are supposed to be meditator, sannyasa ashrama, practicing atma vichya, self-realization, realizing ashuchi vicharana, what is pure, what is impure. So, there is no point in even talking. Many Westerners are realizing, but not many Indians. Because now the materialism in India is killing us. And already the materialism in abroad, how it killed, people realized to a certain extent, those who realized why yoga is popular in abroad. It's because that some society with the wisdom realized the importance of yoga. In India, and that realization is far away, very far away, very far away. Even the practice of yoga, understanding spirituality, again like Nath Gurus, and again for experience, again like Gorakhnath, etc. The tradition, as I told you, Shiva Samhita talks about mantra. For that mantra, if you practice the mantra, you will be attracted by all the women, all the thousands of the women coming behind you. And that is what Tantra practitioner. So your means of practicing meditation also is like that. One has to go beyond a level of understanding, maturity, vairagya, and peace, calm, quiet. At this age itself, at much before itself, that peace in me, no one can take away. That strength in me, no one will take away. The more problems I have, more strong I am becoming. So, understand. I fully realize the dangers of comforts. Now, the dangers of indulgence completely. I am so afraid, like Anatha Pindika, the dangers of comforts, the dangers of indulgence. So I only look for the difficulties so that to remain strong. That's why every day I am trying to understand the scientific problems of the COVID, and trying to understand the problem. I am trying to understand how to address that problem by means of a nutrition, ahara, vihara, by exercise. It is how to help the society. That's all. It is not to. Definitely, my technology has helped me in protected, no doubt. That's why my technology is, I can 100% tell you, the words of experience, experimentation. That's what you have to look at behind those words of the saint. Why those words are important, they speak. Why E is equal to mc square important? If you consider E is equal to mc square cannot be manipulated, so also. And the words of the saints cannot be manipulated. That's what Patanjali is talking about. Purve shamapi api gurukale vachetat. Let us understand the importance of those words. Why Kumar is reading those words? Just to explain you what are those words, this much time it takes for me to make you understand. Because you don't come with the background of surrender, you don't come with the background of mumukshatum, serious burning desire for, enlightenment. You don't come, and for like in olden days, we went to prepare to a teacher and looking for serious desire for technique of self-realization, self-actualization. Wherever we went, total surrender. So, why it is important? It's my duty to explain. Because the yoga in the West, 99% is totally immature. They look down upon, are you a guru? They talk like this, are you a guru? I am not interested in guru, They talk like this. In the West. Even in India, I am not interested in guru. I am not interested. You are not interested in your kindergarten teacher, you are not interested in professor, and you are earning your bread and butter. That's what you are trying to tell. Without guru, and where is the college? And which is the school? Where did you learn your alphabets? Without guru, tell me. She is not guru. What nonsense we talk. Without a lecturer, have you learnt in a college? And without a professor, have you done your PhD? You show me one PhD without a professor. Who did? Not allowed. Not allowed. How come in yoga it is allowed? Without a coach, without a professor, without an acharya. That's the problem. Why don't you do PhD watching YouTube? Tomorrow even some university may offer you PhD on, but you have to go to the professor definitely to learn, to be guided by the professor. Without guide there is no PhD. And postdoctoral research, and without guide, and again, not possible. So in yoga, the more you advance, the desire, the requirement of the guru becomes imminent, prominent. Understand? So, without guru there is no life. Without kindergarten teacher, you can't learn alphabets. Even your parents can educate you, but still you have to go to the school, because for peer group learning. So also, even at home, my father taught me yoga, then I would have been happy, isn't it? Why I have to go for proper schooling in yoga? Maybe I am well educated. Why I should send my child to the school? I can educate him as well at home. So other than that simple knowledge, there are so many other things happens in the classroom situation. Understand? And did you went to only one school throughout your life? So also in yoga. How come there is a single school you have become expert? Tell me. So, understand the importance of multiplicity, hierarchy, and the importance of the teacher. Why I respect my lineage, those gurus. Understand. Why they are so important. What they are talking, each word I am told you, that Hamsachara means it takes now time. So maybe tomorrow or day after I will explain. So we practice now, at least half an hour practice, good enough, or 1 hour practice. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Whether you are interested in theory or not, but you are definitely interested in, so looking in, your your hair should not gray, and your skin should not develop, so wrinkle. And that much consciousness is there in the body. So whether the Jesus is there or not in the temple, whether, so statue is there, sanctum sanctorum is there in the temple, but you worship outside world too much. Because you never worship the soul inside. If you worship the soul inside, why you worship the wall outside? You worship the wall outside out of gratitude because of that sanctum sanctorum is existing, Jesus is existing. Understand? Even at the age of 70 years, he is worshipping, outside the beauty of the temple and never went inside. He got stuck up there. Where is sannyasa ashrama? Unless he leaves, he can't be there simultaneously, isn't it? You have only two options, either to stuck up with the body or stuck up with the soul. If you are standing outside the wall, means you are not there inside. If you are there inside, means you are not outside. You are there inside means you already crossed the outside barriers. It cannot happen, you are inside and outside. Understand? Only when you leave outside, you are inside. The journey is from outside to the inside. Not inside to the outside, isn't it? Outside to the inside. So how quickly you've gone beyond this body and other things. Are you with the soul? Or you stuck up with the body, etc. Beauty of the body. I see many of my students stuck up with the body still. Oh, I am a male. Oh my God, I am female. Oh my God, I thought, you are a guru. You are like, so to be worshipped and kept in small place and every day putting mala. You are not, God is not there everywhere. For you, Guru is not there everywhere, in everything. He is in the form of 60-year-old, 55-year-old, 70-year-old. In the form of graying hair, a Guru is a dress. He is a person to be worshipped wearing a garland around him and doing this. A wish fulfiller, Guru means. Our God, our Guru is the same. So why? Because you stuck up with the body. You limited him you made him a prisoner in one room. And you allocated in your mind, your entire mind he is not there in the entire mind. You allocated a small room for him. Hey, you are intruding into my privacy? Why you are inquiring about my family? What you have to do with my family? It is my personal things, no? That is your connectedness. There is something called personal, there is something called sex, there is something called intellect. That's why as long as you keep this Guru in a den, as a prisoner of one room, this is our Guru concept in India or in abroad. God is in everything, you see everything as a God. Guru is in everything, you see everything in a Guru. Far away. When I talk like this, students write big. Oh my God, what a lecture, Koma. But when it comes to implementation, when I really put test, miserably fail. Only very rare indeed one or two be successful. Otherwise, that's what the huge difference between this and this. If you are taking this from here, transformation comes. If you are taking from here, entertainment. These lectures and the discourses for entertainment. A part of it cut on YouTube, listening, oh, how beautifully eating French fries and watching it, listening to Kumar discourse, such an enchantment, such a kick. And listening to Kumar and practicing it, very difficult. A Guru is here in the head, not in the heart. In the head, he is entertainer of your intelligence, your intellect, and further he is adding into your intelligence, that's why you love him. Oh my God, I learned so much. Not how much I realized. Knowledge seeker you are, not the wisdom seeker at all. What for? This entire world is behind is reading the books, etc. Unless you experience, unless you keep the sugar in the mouth, how do you know the taste? Tell me. You have done PhD on a sugar molecule. You never tasted it. Can you understand what is the sugar? Is it tasting the sugar is important or doing a PhD on sugar is important? Tell me. Can a PhD on sugar, your experimentation on sugar will give you experience of the sugar? Your PhD on swimming can ever give you experience of swimming? Tell me. So also, this entire spirituality yoga is to be experienced. It is not an intellectualization like yours. Especially spirituality has become a thorough intellectualization, what Patanjali is saying to develop, and it's not there. You should be very, very careful. And before my yoga course begins, I want to shatter all your myths. You should be very clear to from whom you are going to learn. Understand? I am going to be a very angry person. All gurus, Vasishtha and all very angry. They don't tolerate any, so they don't pamper the children. They are very firm. A student is like, Balya, a childhood. Parents have to be very firm. A teacher has to be very, very firm. Very, very firm. It is going to be very strict discipline. You have no other go accepting 100%. If you have some trivial issues going on, if you are here to pose questions and all, this teaching is not for you. Not for you at all. This is what I tell in India to all my teachers whom I train all India. This is not a teacher training, it is a yogi training. Understand, it is a yogi training. It is not a teacher training. Teacher training means a yogi will become a teacher. Understand? For the namesake you want a certificate we give. But it is a yogi training. It is not a teacher training. Unless you are a yogi, how come you become a teacher of yoga, you tell me? This is a yogi training. All your 3 months, there has to be a change in your personality. The change everywhere. Your living has to become scientific. Totally. And if ready to change, this course is for you. Ready to become living the life standards, with the pramana, with the absolute science, leaving your delusion, leaving your perception. First empty out your mind, then only this course is for you. Understand? Wherever you have to go like that. It's not something I am telling you, you have to be here like that. If someone has not told you, it is their mistake. But I brought up properly. I brought up in good cultured institutions. Understand? It's not my fault if you are not brought up in a cultured institution of a gurus. Understand? Very, very important. What I am going to tell you, how to do agriculture, how to become a cultured. How to become a cultured. Yoga is to make you a cultured person. Right now, so without plowing, without removing the weeds, without putting the water, without flowing, there is no agriculture, isn't it? So my duty is to plow, tell you to plow, how to plow your field of mind and body. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and drop your arms. People talk about angriness of Pattabhi and after all, that is for only ordinary asanas itself. They are ordinarily angry. Then how much angry Krishnamacharya should be, and how much angry the saints should be for the knowledge they have, the wideness of the knowledge they have. They don't represent any spiritual traditions, you should know. There is no spirituality. They are my gurus, but they are very good in particular discipline of yoga, not entire gamut of yoga. If you think the meditation traditions, no. There is no meditation in their traditions. The meditation is a Siddhanta Vichara. There is a way to meditate, which I will be teaching you slowly. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Drop your arms. You talk about balance in yoga, but you never have a balance in yoga, because if you practice all limbs of yoga, then it's called balance in yoga. It is not that balancing yoga means keeping your leg like this and keeping like this. This is called a balance in yoga. A acrobat also will do, gymnast also will do. A dog also nowadays I am seeing on the YouTube. Dog also doing like this yoga. Are you a dog? And to stand on the two legs and do it, stand on two hands and keeping your legs up. What is the difference? A dog can do, you can do. So what is the difference? What dog cannot do, what you can do is called yoga. Can dog observe himself and sit in meditation and can experience singularity? No. That's what yoga. What dog can do, what monkey can do, if you can do. What's the difference between monkey and dog and you? Is there any difference? Yoga is for that. Yoga is at the monkey level or a dog level. I am seeing a lot of yoga teachers teaching yoga to their dogs, and they are giving shows, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, running shows with the dogs. And in India further, when that video circulated to India, and Indians are further advanced, they add and Hindi music and and they add Telugu music to that videos, and they spoil the entire essence of that, and the beauty of that video itself is damaged by that song. It indicates how culprit the minds are, how manipulative the minds are. I don't know why they add those music. If just the dog is trained, the dog is showing some feet, observe it. Why you want to have a music in your, and do you think the dog is playing a music? Yoga is not, so dogs can do certain yoga. So the yoga, what dogs can do if you are doing, that's not yoga. Understanding. Dog cannot understand what is the resistance, what is the endurance, and whatever the way you are trained, it will do simply. The same way you are doing, without any understanding you are doing means, that's why I said you are like a dog, there is no difference between dog and you. You should understand, no? What you are trying to do, why I should do this is axial rotation, this is working on a transverse plane, and this is a way I am working in a proximal region, and it is a way to conserve the energy. And it is keeping my center of mass and center of line intact. I am not shifting, I am moving around the axis, centripetal or a centrifugal force I am creating for maximum output. That's why I am moving like this. I am a crazy guy to move like this. Your dog also moves like this, but has it understood this principle? That's why I said, if you have not understood the science behind it, and then it is called a dog yoga only. And it's not simply knowing which muscle, what do you get by knowing the muscle? Tell me. If you don't even know what are the motor units included, what is alignment, and what is that muscle has to do. And the muscle which you are interested is not at all important in yoga. The muscle interested is 650 muscles, all fine muscles, all slow twitch muscles, all you talk about in the West, and all the muscles are bulk muscles. Yoga is all about firing the neurons, wiring the brain. Understand? It is all to do how many small motor units, how many small muscles, even not leaving a finest of fine muscle, working with it is called yoga. Finest of finest muscle. And only you are working with the bulk muscles in yoga. Are you a soldier? They are called soldiers, they are called aggressive temperament they carry. So, yoga is not for kick, yoga is for transformation. The way yoga is damaged, I am saying, one way I appreciate, because the way asanas are developed, but still with a non-scientific background, using some vocabulary. So yoga is not about the vocabulary, yoga is all about understanding the science behind it.